Time. Hello. Right, we should be live. I'm just going to check. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I think we should be live. I'm just going to check it on my phone. Actually, I'm just going to disconnect my phone because you know what happens? Someone calls you. So if I go quiet for 2 seconds, that's why. But if you are here, do drop questions down below. Also, I'm here to help you out. This is the Fast Track FBA like live call. It's just to help you guys out. So do let me know. 1 second, I'm going to go quiet while I cancel my Bluetooth. Cool. Okay, so I should be here. I already got Amit has said, "Hey Tom, hey, good to see you." Let me just double check that I'm actually live on the Facebook group as well. Obviously, if you've got questions, guys, do drop them down below. Obviously, I'm here to help. Oh, yeah, that's definitely not feedback. Yeah, we are live. Fantastic. So let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how your January's been. Yeah, we've been pretty. We've beaten our record. We've beaten our forecast, which I'm really happy with. Just done over 300,000 for the month. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and do it there. Okay, 300k. Woohoo! For January. Yeah, happy with that. Really good. Really good. We did 400k in December, so really happy with that. So yeah, really happy. My team have been fantastic. USA is still working on. I need to get some update figures on that as well. So I will let you know obviously once I fully understand the situation. But stock has been an issue. But moving on, questions. How do you check sales estimate for a bundle product or variation products? Great question. So. The way I'm going to say you should probably answer this is first things first. Number one, go into the product itself, load up your like tool, like FBA multi-tool, sass or whatever. Now, what I recommend doing is just look at the sales estimation and then change the variation to something else. The reason is sometimes each variation has its own sales rank, and the tool will pick that up and obviously show you the variation of sales for that tool. So I'd kind of do that. If when you change variation, the sales are all the same, then it means obviously it's a group listing. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Now, if they are all the same, what you want to do is generally speaking, take the sales, call it 1,000. If there's like 3 variations, is go into the number of reviews, and you're looking at the number of reviews recently. So not like historic reviews of the products. You can go down to Keeper and then look at like, I think it's like review count under data tab. And it will tell you like how many reviews each one. You want pretty much within the last 90 days. Divide that 1,000, and attribute it towards, the one with the most amount of reviews is probably going to be selling the most. And if it's like, say for example, in the last 90 days, it's got 6 reviews and one product's got 5 and the other one's got 1 and the other one's got 0. Well, you probably attribute 5/6 of the 1,000 sales per month towards the one with 5 reviews, 1/6 of the sales count towards the one with 1 review, and then like 0 because obviously it hasn't got any. Not mean it's not selling, but obviously sales are a lot lower. If you can't see obviously the sales estimation, a top tip is really just to look. Another way you can kind of do it, a hacky way, which isn't perfect, but a rough rule of thumb. If you make an estimate that each review equals 100 sales, just scroll down, go to the review section, do sort reviews by most recent, and then just see which variation, go back through the last 3 months and just count how many reviews of that variation have been given, and then you can multiply that by 100, and that'll give you a rough guide of how many reviews, how many sales it's done in 3 months divided by 3, and you'll get 1 month sales. And then I just kind of check that versus what the Keeper's looking like. So again, we don't know the answer, but I do think what you're trying to do is you're trying to make best guess decisions and seeing like review count, sales rank, and variations, and try and understand that. So I hope that makes sense. I'll jump down more to your question in a second. Rizzo, hi Thomas, are you selling in the only in the UK and USA? Yes, that's correct. Looking at Germany later on this year, that's what we want to do. We're doing OA, and we just made our first wholesale sales in the UK. Woohoo! I think we made like £2.60. I'm really excited. I know, £2.60. Yeah, that's profit, by the way. £10 in sales, £2.60 profit. Maybe like £20, I don't know. But yeah, really happy with that. So just UK and USA at the moment, but pick your battles. My God, Amazon takes a lot of cash. Don't do too much too soon. That makes sense. Let me know where you're selling, or if there's any reason behind that question. Amit, if the tool shows different sales ranks for different variations, can we say other one is selling more for sure? Not for sure. Yes, but always check it with the other data. So check it with like, if you go for the different variations and they all have different sales rank, cool. Well, then go down and check the reviews and make sure that what you're seeing in the sales rank is aligned with what the reviews are telling you. Look back at the history. Again, what we're trying to do is we understand that we're working in an imperfect world, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the data available to us through sales rank, through review counts, kind of like maybe history of the product, for example. We're trying to combine that all together to say, is the other data on the listing agreeing with what I'm thinking, or is it actually showing something else? Like if the sales rank showing 1,000 sales a month, but there hasn't been a review for 3 months, I'm gonna be like, whoa, like why? Something's not right there. So I might be a bit more cautious and do a smaller test purchase. So again, what you're looking for is alignment in the data and the things, rather than one thing, like kind of one measure. I hope that makes sense. Just opening a window so it can cool down. Right, next one. English with me. I'm approved to sell this item, but as in new condition. But when I list it, it's not showing new. Can I just list it as collectible as new? You can. You can obviously sell. Oh no. So let's just do this quickly. So if the item is new, obviously you can list it as collectible, but people don't want to buy collectibles, so you're probably not going to make sales. But you definitely can't list a collectible or secondhand item as new. That's called IP Complaint Central. My advice would be like, it sounds like you've got a problem. Message seller support. It could just be a back of house problem. They'll probably update you and let you know. So I just like try and understand it. It sounds like something might not be right. I'd raise a case for seller support and see what they say. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, you want to sell it as new. Most people don't want to buy a second-hand item; they want new, so sell it as new. I signed up for UK leads today. And how long do you update the list? Are you keeping items until it closes with 10 deals sold? Okay, so cool, that's fine. So yes, we for our lead service, Fast Track FBA leads or fasttrackfba.com/leads. The deals will remain active so long as the deal is active and we haven't sold out, i.e. like 10 people. So, so long as the supplier is still active at that price and it's still profitable, we check it every day pretty much. Sometimes the supplier will check once a week, but the Amazon profit and loss calculation can be done multiple times per day. So we also, as well, we have teams sourcing 7 days a week. Predominantly it will happen nighttime because they're in the Philippines, so that's when you'll see it kind of happen in the UK. So it'll be like nighttime in the UK, or should say early morning, late night, if that makes sense. That's pretty much it. So yeah, the team are in the Philippines doing it. But yeah, thanks for signing up. By the way, hope you really like it. Let's just go through. Hi Tom, as a new seller, what categories would you start with? Do you recommend just focusing on ungating categories to begin with? No, not really. I do think you should get them. Okay, so let me put it so. We're selling on the USA, and we're selling on the USA, and I think the real question comes is, we focused on getting sales, but we actually got to about $7,000 in sales, and then we automatically started getting auto ungated. So for me, yes, you can go down the route of using wholesalers to do it. I just didn't. We did auto, and we haven't used a wholesaler yet to get ungated in Amazon USA. We've done 170,000 now, I think, in sales. So it kind of shows that you can do it, and also we're not ungating everything, but we're ungating a lot. My advice would be like categories. There's a YouTube video called like top categories to start selling in when you're getting started. Have a look on our YouTube channel. I'll see if I can find it. Category. Oh, I can't spell. Cat equals. Okay, top selling categories. Yeah, I don't know if there's 8 videos. Sorry, 1 second. I'll see if I can just find it. Top Amazon selling categories for new beginners. There we go. Nice video. Actually, it's the UK. I don't think they're going to be too different. I will just drop it in the comments. Look on the YouTube comments. I just posted in there. That one, it is the UK. I don't think they'll be too different. And the reason is a lot of those categories are like ungated, if that makes sense. So try them. Also, the USA is not too hard. There's a couple of videos we've done, but I think that's a UK one. So my advice would be get sales. Like you can do the ungating, but don't be too like you have to go get ungated and everything. You'll just be there forever. Like instead get sales. Also, top tip, when you are looking to get ungated, think about ungating as you're trying to find products that you can buy and resell and break even on. Don't try and buy products you can make profit on. It's a lot harder. It takes a lot more time. You just want to be like, hey, I want to open up a wholesaler, buy some products, get ungated and sell the products, and then carry on doing what I'm doing. It's at zero cost. people spend too long trying to find profitable wholesale products, and like that's a whole nother game. Don't bother. It's just not worth it. You make more money doing it away. Cool. Rizza, I see a lot of freezes in the platform for leads list, and it keeps getting back to the homepage. Rizza, I'm really sorry to hear about that. Do any chance you could do us a favor, like record a Loom video, and there's a little chat window down in the bottom right, and just share a link to your Loom video of the problems you're having. We'll see if we can get them fixed. If you want to know, we are going through a whole upgrade right now. It's still going to take a couple more months at least. You're probably looking about 4 more months, but the whole platform will be a lot more stable. We're kind of just doing the whole back end of it. So, I'm sorry what's happening. If there's anything we can see in your Loom video, we'll get that fixed immediately. Otherwise, obviously, it will be with the big update. So the core functionality will work, but I hope that makes sense. But thanks for the feedback and thanks for joining. Rizza said also, I watch your walkthrough videos about lead service. Do you have an in-depth desire to decide which is a good deal and a bad deal? Not really much for the lead service, but we do them for like services in general, or should we say not services in general, sourcing in general. I'd really recommend looking at my Sourcing 101 playlist. We do a lot of deal analysis in that. That's really useful. So yeah, look at the Sourcing 101 playlist in my YouTube thing. There'll be a lot of like how I review deals, what I do, deal analysis, and sourcing methodologies as well. Check that out. I think that will really help you. What should be the max sales rank for using keeper drop tactics? Sales rank, oh wow. I understand what you're saying. Look, long story short, when you look at the sales drops, you're looking for that arch, like the up, 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 drop, up, 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 drop, up, 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 drop. Now, my advice, personally, if you can count more than 20 of them, you shouldn't be using the drop method, which is probably going to be sales rank in the UK, 80,000. 10,000, 5 to 10,000, my God, I'm never getting anywhere near it at that rank. The keeper drop method doesn't work. So for smaller drop ranks, yeah, definitely you should be using like, your tool, Buybot Pro, sass, etc., Jungle Scout free. Again, estimations, and again, the sales are going to be a lot higher. So you'll generally be fine. And if you estimate inaccurately, what's going to happen is that you might be sat there for a month and a half rather than a month on stock. So it's not the end of the world. Whereas if you estimate inaccurately on 80,000 sales rank, wow, that's a big mistake. So yeah, drop record, probably like, it's not so much a set number, it's when I can see the drops. If I can count the drops in my visual, I'm fine. And I will never use that kind of statistic drop. I'll literally do it manually in my head and watch it. I hope that makes sense. Do you actively buying products which also Amazon is listing? If so, which? Yeah, I think 20% of our products have Amazon listing. Don't quote me. I think it's about 20%. Look at my advanced keeper training. It's the middle one. We've got basic, advanced, and expert. Go to the advanced. I talk about how to see if Amazon's showing the buy box. There's also a video called 3 ways to tell if Amazon's showing the buy box. Check that one out as well. I think that's it. And again, like, we'll only ever buy products if Amazon is showing the buy box. That's the important point. So we just want to make sure that we can do it. So I hope that answers your question. And again, read the keeper data. Most important, learn keeper. Hi Tom, how much do you target to make in profit relative to Amazon loan payment amounts? As I found, I make less profit than my monthly repayment terms. Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, I get you. Okay, look, so first things first, before you ever take an Amazon loan payment, you should be understanding that you're able to make profit from your business above and beyond what it's going to cost on a loan. If I put it in perspective, let's say, for example, I had a £100,000 loan at a 10.9% APR. Well, that means pretty much, for simplistic terms, I'm going to take a £100,000 loan from Amazon. I'm going to have to pay back 110,000 over the course of the loan agreement if it was 1 year. Now, what do I need to understand? Well, I need to be making sure that I'm being able to make more than 10% ROI on that product over the course of the lifetime of the loan. So for me, in our business, we know we do that. It's not a problem. But also as well, it's not just about, can you make that on your existing money? It's like, do you have the infrastructure in place to utilize the loan? That's what, can you get deals? Can you, do you have VAs to buy them? Can you get the deals? Can you physically buy them? Are you like too busy sourcing? Can you prep them? Can you ship them to Amazon? And then obviously, can you do the administration behind it? Like getting, if you're going to add £100,000 and it's a lot of cash, that's now a lot more like administration and getting potential IP issues. Obviously, then you need to get like invoices, etc. There's a lot to it. Right now across, I mean, I have 3 companies, but the bulk of the work is the Amazon businesses. We now have 4 admin VAs, full time, by the way. So it kind of gives you an idea of the requirement. And I think at least 2.5 is a minimum for my Amazon business doing 2.2 million. So like one admin VA per million as a minimum. So it's causing scaling problems. So there's a lot to it. So to come back to kind of like part of your question, yes, you should always be making money, and you should be confident in the fact that if I take this loan, I can spend it, use it, turn it, make more money than the loan repayment and do well. And also as well, I wouldn't just say you should know that whether you're looking at like your little orange bars or you're looking like Seller Toolkit, but no, you know it at a very fundamental level in your accounts. Xero, QuickBooks accounts, you know that, and you can see that every month you're making profit. Because too many people do have, like they post, like the beautiful yellow, whatever you call it, like, wow, look at my graph, and then they're not actually making money. So you've got to be making money financially. Now, the next question, coming back to your original point, is how much do you target? We don't target profit, because what we understand is that I can't guarantee that I'm going to make the profit because I don't control the listing. The listing is the marketplace. It's sold at whatever it is. But what I can understand is that we have a track record of, if I spend X amount of cash, let's call it, say, for example, if I spend £10,000 today, I make £20,000 worth of revenue this month, I'm going to maybe make, let's call it a 20% ROI on my profit and a 10% gross margin. We're like, okay, now, and I'm consistently delivering that. So like, now I can kind of, because I'm consistent, I know that if I put more money into the equation, I'm probably much going to deliver about the same, maybe slightly less because I've got more costs. But at the end of the day, like, I'm pretty consistent. So I think for you is like, when you talk about how much do you target, it's like, I'm not even really targeting anything. What I'm doing is I'm understanding how my business operates and the consistency that I have. And I have consistency in my figures and my numbers, and I see that every single week. And I feel confident that when I put more money in, I'm going to get a very similar result coming out. And again, all we do is we build systems. We put money, people, time in. We buy stuff, sell it on Amazon, and the output is profit. That's it. And I have quite certainty in my model and the way it works. So my advice to you is, and I really understand your pain, really understand your model, what you're trying to do, create consistency in your results. And then when you take a loan, you're going to now feel like you might have an aim, a goal, a target, but it isn't, if you don't achieve it, you're probably not going to be too far, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Good question. Really, really good question. And thank you for sharing. English with me. In the UK marketplace only is in the UK marketplace, the only communication is via text. What are you talking? Here we go. That was the original question. I don't really understand. In the UK marketplace, the only communication is via text. Are you just with Seller Central? You can just send them good seller support, create a seller case, and then contact me back by email. That's it. It's not text message. It won't be text. You can call them. Yeah, you can call them. Obviously, you need a UK base. Interesting. I think you can even tell them to call you back in like an external number. Like, I'm in Mexico. Like, if I want, I could ask them to call me back on my Mexican number. Maybe. I don't know. I've not tried. I think you can. I think you have the ability. But yeah, raise a case. Do it. Watch that. That's really helpful for something that's about, what's that about? Getting started, new categories, new beginners. Watch that video. Really good, new beginners. Amit, there is a listing for bundle selling list, and Amazon is a listing only for one unit. Which method can we use to understand the average sales for bundle in this product? Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, like, I could be here forever kind of highlighting. I'm going to recommend a top tip. Go find a similar situation of another product, because obviously you don't want to share this product. Go into one of the groups and ask that exact question. Just share the listing, share the product. How can we work out how this is selling? Because like, it's quite, without seeing it, it's really challenging. So I think for you is share it in like the Fast Track FBA Facebook group, and obviously we'll jump in and have a look and give you our thoughts. And also as well, the reason why I say that as well is because, hey, I'm not an expert, but I do think you'll be able to get a lot of feedback from other people and the way they do it and learn from them as well. My God, I love the community now. I really, really do. But yeah, thank you for the question. Sorry, I'm not being like very direct because it's quite complex. I could be getting you really wrong information. Share the listing, let us know. Riza, what is the difference between sorting on popularity or hot deals? Oh, okay, interesting. So this is in regards to Fast Track FBA lead service. Popularity is obviously the ones that are buying the most, which, you've got the most number of sales, they're about to sell out, they're really popular. Hot deals are ones whereby they haven't got, I think it's less than 5 sales. 5 sales in total. So we have a maximum of 10. So it'd be like 5 sales. And then what we're looking for, the ones which have got like they're quite new. So like they're new and they're getting good sales. So like I think maybe within the last like 3 days, 7 days, I'm not sure, and they've got space. So they're like the hot deals are ones where like they've just come live today and people are really interested. The popular deals are like a lot of people have bought these deals. They seem to be really good. So there is a difference, and what we just try to do is help sort it in different ways. I hope that makes sense, Rosa. Right, let's kind of go back on. Much appreciated. Cool. Glad I can help you. Get some coffee. Always need coffee. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I promise you I will get through them all. I'll try and be quick. John Hughes, have you ever had a product authenticity customer complaint for a product that you bought using online advertising? Yes. Yes, maybe every week. Long story short, go to the supplier, argos.com, log in, download your receipt, your invoice, the actual invoice, not the delivery confirmation or anything, or dispatch confirmation. That doesn't count. Has to be an invoice. Send it to Argos and tell them this is a brand new product, or send it to Amazon, sorry, this is a brand new product, here's my Argos receipt, and they'll remove it. Simple, done. We had loads of them. Like I've got 2 IP alerts in the USA, and right now we're doing like 50,000 a month, so not like huge. In the UK, maybe 1 IP alert, one IP complaint on the account. We did 300,000 this month so far, and it is the 31st today, so happy with that. But yeah, Tom, as a new seller, how do you manage your cash flow process, buying enough inventory to scale, grow, trim, make credit cards? Oh, I love this one. Check out the honestly, Fast Track FBA YouTube channel. Just type in cash flow. There's 2 videos I've done. They both have a downloadable link. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It is paid for. It's £30. Download it. Trust me, it's the exact sheet we use in my business, and it is exactly what you're saying. So what do we do? The way I do my model is we cash out every Monday from the Amazon bank account. So they do it naturally every 2 weeks. We do it every Monday, and the sheet itself, I'm just going to close the window. It's now getting a bit cold. The sheet itself, basically you put in there like how much money Amazon said I've got, how much they allowed me to disperse, so we know how much you're going to get this week, and we know the difference is what you'll get next week. You put in all your kind of expenses, should we say, and then what? Close this window properly. They put all your expenses in, and it just kind of helps you map what's coming in and going out when, and then it will kind of give you basically what it does. It goes all the way down. I know you put in your credit cards there, like what's the available spend, even charge cards, when the credit card payment's due, and then it will just give you one figure at the end, which is it will ask you to play with some figures to make sure everything's green, there's no red. And once you're done, it will just give you a figure, and this is what's called your spend figure, and that's it. When you talk about buying enough inventory to scale or grow, ultimately, to buy enough inventory to scale or grow is about using as much of the money you have every single week, investing that money into stock and churning it. So cash flow at a very fundamental level in a trading business or an Amazon business is you don't make money by having cash, you make money by having inventory, which is stock. So it's about converting as much of the cash which you can safely into stock, and that's what that sheet does. $30 and the 30 quid, sorry, and then the idea is that the what do you call it? Oh my god, the video talks about it. So watch them, really good. Like, trust me, we use it all the time. Really love it. It makes such a difference to our business. It is probably one of the fundamental core things we did to help get to 1 million. Like, I'd really recommend it, and loads of people use it. I'm not trying to oversell you there. Hi Tom, have you done a video on code inventory that is 0 or 5% on VAT instead of central? It feels like I reduce my VAT liability. Obviously, it will only reduce your VAT liability if those products are truly 0 and 5%. Also, as well, a couple of top tips for you. So we haven't done this. It's not particularly challenging. We do it on the USS naturally. The USS Ultimate Sourcing Sheet does this automatically for you. You just code 5%. And when you use the listing uploader to upload inventory to Amazon on bulk, it'll set the correct VAT code for you. Now, all you want to know, just go into Amazon, go to a product, in your inventory, just click edit, and then it'll say like that, and you can change it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you get the wrong VAT name. Like, let's say, for example, it's like 0% rated food, and you put 0% rated coffee. It's not the end of the world. It's still 0%. You'll get the VAT code correct. But the one thing you do need to be very, 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 very well aware on this, and what a lot of people do miss out, is that That's all very well and good. And yes, you're selling at 0% VAT, but you need to make sure, because I'm assuming you're doing VAT returns, you're probably going to be using something like Xero or QuickBooks to manage your accounts because you're now VAT registered. You want to make sure that when you're using like A2X or Link My Books, it's actually pulling over the correct tax codes from those SKUs over to your Amazon disbursements, because otherwise it will just classify everything as 20% VAT, and while you'll be selling it for 5, you'll be stating to the tax man through Xero that you're paying 20% VAT. So that's the one thing. Just speak to your accountant; they'll help you out. But I don't think we've done a video on it. But the USS does it naturally. So that's the only thing I can say. But you can just change it. Just go to edit product. No problem. Great question, Richard. Hi. What is the difference between hazmat and dangerous goods? Where can you find all the data on Amazon? As far as I'm aware, they're pretty much the same thing, and I haven't really done the research. I think it might be the case that you have what's known as hazardous goods that you can't sell, period, through the FBA program. But then you have what used to be some of the hazardous goods are now classified as dangerous goods because you can sell them if you're on the dangerous goods program, but they do require special shipping, i.e. like they might be like perfumes or something, i.e. their perfumes are flammable, so only certain sellers on the dangerous goods program can store them in Amazon's warehouses, but they need to be packaged and labeled and shipped a certain way to reduce the chances of them blowing up, for example, or setting on fire. So I think, don't quote me, I think hazardous is like you cannot use the FBA program, period. Dangerous goods is you can, but you need to be on the approved program and there's certain requirements for it. That's my estimation. And I wouldn't even put money on it, that's correct, but that's my understanding. I might have them the wrong way around, but I think it's that way because you can join what's known as a dangerous goods program. Hope that makes sense. Right, Amit, so how will we decide sales according to drop length from 70K to 35K? Look, if you're look, my top tip for you is when you're looking at a keeper chart, if you're doing count the drops, that's super simple. You just count the drops over the period of time. Like 3 months, I can count 10 drops, that's 10 drops, 10 sales per, for 3 months, that's 3 sales per month. Next one is to say that if you are, if you're like kind of doing it whereby you're using your tool, but I'd look at the tool today and see what it's telling me. I'd look at what the rank is today and say, for example, it's normally on average about 40,000, today's about 50,000, and the tool's telling me it's selling 20 units per month. We're not doing count the drop method. Then I'd be like 20 units a month. Okay, well, today's rank is statistically worth what it has been, so it's probably doing more than that. Let's call it like 30 sales months. Or if you want to know, maybe just look at the average sales rank over the last 30 days or 90 days, figure out what it is, and then go type that into Jungle Scout Sales Estimator. That's what I'd probably recommend. I don't know the answer. I think it's up to you, but again, you're not. What you got to realize is the tools are generally taking the sales rank from a data point today, not an average over the last 30 days. So your job is to kind of do that computation in your head. It's not perfect, but that's my thoughts. Has anyone ever lost your shipment? How did you get reimbursed? Yeah. Go back to them with your invoice to show the cost of the product. That's all I say. Yes, they've lost shipments. You ask for reimbursement. If it's not covering the cost, go back, show them what you paid for it, and ask them to cover it. That's all I'd say. Sometimes they don't play along. Johnny Bishop. Hi, Thomas. Been working my way through the Fast Track FBA course. Loving the content. Really love the video you did on how you spend the cashback. You should do more of those lifestyle videos. Oh, I'm going to. I am. I'm literally tomorrow. I fly out to Cancun, Houston, Miami, and Tampa. All with cashback and points. I'm well excited. Depending if I haven't got COVID, obviously I can't get to the United States, but we'll see. But yeah, thank you, Johnny. Really appreciate it. Obviously, I'll do some more. Any more video advice, let me know. Especially holiday ones. I love holiday ones. Right, Riza, how can I find items that you can sell continuously, like replenishables? Not sure if that's the correct item. Agreed. Riza, if I knew the answer to that, you got to ask 2 questions. Number one, do you think like there are items that we sell pretty well, but generally they don't exist. And if they did exist and there was a simple solution to finding them, you got to ask the question, if I told it to you in front of right now, there's 17 people on this live call, and plus another 200 watching it on the replay, they would all go and do that, and they'd probably share it with their friends, and all of a sudden that amazing answer would probably not be a good answer. Like now would stop working. So probably wouldn't be shared. But I will share some interesting stats for you, which will kind of give you a bit more of an insight into the whole replenishable term. In my business, we classify a replenishable as any ASIN we have purchased more than twice within any 12-month period. What we kind of think about is in the replenishables is that you might, the typical January to December, you might buy something in February, you buy it, it sells out in March, and then you buy it again in July, for example. Now, because we bought the product again, we classify it as replenishable. And what we understand is that replenishables won't always be available. They'll come into season and we can buy them and resell them. So with that metric, about 85% of all our purchases every single week are what's known as replenishable. So what does that mean? We're just rebuying the same products we bought in the past. But what does it mean also as well? That you need to build up an inventory. So we always talk about building a list of all the top products that you've got that are selling. The USS does this naturally. It helps you identify your top selling products and tells you to keep looking for them. So yeah, build up a list of all your products and do that replenishables. It does help, but what you're asking for generally doesn't exist, not in a way. Things come in and out of stock. It's the very nature of the business we do. You're not going to continuously get. You've got to learn how to understand the market. And hey, that's where the value lies. You bringing value to the marketplace that other people can't do. So learn how to do replenishables in your way. Which one can I say? I don't rely on anyone more than the other. It's up to you. Look at the real data. Do jump into top tip. When you sell something, go into your back of house. You can go Sell Essential Business Reports, sales, select a month and see what the true sales are. That's much better than what these tools will give you. The tools are giving you estimations. Your true sales data are giving you actual sales data. That's important. English with me. What's the cheapest UK prep center regarding starting a small unit? Don't do it. 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 Don't go for the cheapest. I promise you that. Don't go for the cheapest. Let me ask you a quick question. What if I created a prep center tomorrow and I called it Tom's Cheapest Prep Center UK and I charged you 20p a unit? My God, that's so cheap. And slight problem. I don't actually ship any of your units. I just take your money and your stock and run away. I'm still the cheapest prep center, but it doesn't mean I actually do what you want. You want the cheapest prep center, which actually gives you the value that you're looking for. And I'm not going to lie, there's been a lot of problems recently, a lot of problems in the US and the UK around prep centers, especially with COVID. Go find one which does the job. First things first, you want to make sure it does the job as described. Once it does that, then look for value for money. But you can't go for cheapest first. Just be very, very careful. Cups. Get it right, Tom. A couple that I know off the top of my head, which have been around for a while, and longevity generally does help. We Prep FBA, they're good. Fast Pack FBA, they're good. And Systematized Fulfillment, Kev Blackburn, I know him. He's good as well. Kev probably has the best systems out of anyone. Like, it's incredible what you can do. They actually deliver your stock and they deliver it really well and they do a good service. And you might pay a little bit more, but trust me, you're spending tens of thousands of pounds on stock. It's not worth it. Get quality first. Next one. What's the main difference between SaaS and Livebot Pro? Not really. It's up to you. Whichever one you prefer. Yeah. It's up to you, whatever you prefer. Anti-Wolf, hi Tom. Are we the ungating progress? Some questions. A, when should I start the process? Immediately or after months when I have a track record? Top tip for you, Anthony. Great question. Just make sure you've got some sales. I'd probably recommend at least like £1,000 or $1,000. Why? I don't know it for a fact. No one's told me, but I have seen it whereby even if you have the correct invoice, but you don't have enough sales history, Amazon will still say no. Just because the fact that what is the gating process? The gating process is there to protect Amazon's customers from dodgy sellers, and dodgy sellers can make fake versions of invoices really simply, but what dodgy sellers don't want to do is sell £1,000 worth of product legitimately. So Amazon just wants to see a bit of a track record, and then they'll be like, okay, cool, now we'll accept the invoice. Obviously, you're not going to get ungated in Apple with just $1,000 worth of sales, so just be mindful of like certain brands might need a higher threshold. Again, I don't know this. Amazon's never released it. It's just what I think and what I see and what I've heard. So get about $1,000, then start the ungating process if you want. But if you can, my God, we did it. We did $7,000 worth of sales in the US, and then we were automatically getting ungated. So if you can do it the manual way, fantastic. And he said, how long do you have to wait until you get ungating in enough categories to get the momentum going? We didn't. Again, $7,000 without doing anything else. And we did $7,000 of sales, and then we were ungated in most things automatically. And we managed to do $100,000 in sales in our first 6 months in the USA. I'm really happy with that. So I don't think you need to worry too much. What do you do with the stock you brought when gating application gets denied several times? You can hold on to it. You should only be buying 10, so it's not huge. And again, that's why I kind of don't really like the gating process, because I'd rather just sell what I know I can sell and go through the automatic ungating. So just hold on to it, keep selling, do some volume, and it'll be fine. How many different items do you order and sell in a month in overall? Do you have routine changes? Do you check new products to sell every day? My team do it all. I'm not going to lie. If anyone knows about me, I've got like, I think I've got 8 sourcing VAs in the UK. Yeah, 3 purchasing managers, things like that, and like 3 admin VAs full time. If you want to know this month so far, and if I'm just gonna, you're asking how many products. Well, this month, January, we just sold 12,000 products. So you can kind of just do the math. We're buying 12,000 divided by 30. That'll give you order per day. We don't really look at products. We look at spend. We want to spend the cash converting that money in. So I hope that makes sense. Do you have a routine? Yeah. Ask the team to find some deals, buy them. That's it. Do you check new products to sell every day? Yes. No, obviously not Saturday and Sunday. My team only work Monday to Friday. That's it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Next one, Broski. Hi Tom. Are email receipts for the retail sufficient to use the business expense inventory as evidence, or do I have to chase each other? Chase each. Put it this way. Top tip for you: if you're doing VAT in the UK or EU, the way you want to really think about it is, look at all your, say for example, you've got 100 transactions in a month. First of all, get the top 10% or 10 high value ones. Make sure you're chasing those invoices. If you've got like £20, £30 and £1,000, you want the £1,000 one. If they're going to audit you, they'll look at the £1,000 one over the £20 one. So number one, the top 10% of the highest value transactions, get those invoices. Number two is any new suppliers that you've never purchased from before. I mean, like, again, what you want to do is just be able to reasonably prove these guys are VAT payers. If they're VAT payers, then obviously HMRC is going to go, okay, cool. So we'll say okay, but like, at least you've tried. The email receipts are no, they're not good enough, unfortunately. Yay, we got some spam. Yum NGO. I really don't understand. Does anyone know why they spam that? It's not like it's even anything useful. Right, I might have a look later on. Alex, any tips of clearing products that have become saturated or the listing becomes gated? Gated, just find a reseller, like someone else you can sell it on another marketplace. Our warehouse do it for us, which is really nice. They take a big cut. We're not even looking at making money. We're just looking at trying to minimize our losses on it. In regards to saturated, I hate to say it, and people hate me for it. They really do. I get a lot of stick for it. I'm crashing listings. That's it. We just crash the listing and get out of there. And people hate it. So that's my only advice. You got to do, like, when you're not going, there's no point sitting on a product for 6 months that's not going to recover. Clear it out, lose money now, invest it in something else that's going to make money. That's it. And learn from it. That's all I can say. Sorry, Alex. And I know people are going to hate you for it. They'll be like, this guy's a bastard. Sorry, language. Beep. Is it possible to check the ultimate sourcing sheet before purchasing? No, but you can probably go to fasttrackfba.com, look at the little chat window down the bottom, say, I'm interested in the ultimate purchasing sheet. Is it possible to have a call with Pat? And they can book you in for a free 30-minute consultation call. You can have a chat with him, see it in action, ask questions, etc. So do that. Just go to the little chat window on fasttrackfba.com. You can have a chat with them, and they'll book in a private call with you. So English with me, those IP complaints doesn't hurt your overall health, eventually in suspension, and it doesn't ruin your sales. So IP complaints don't stop your sales. Well, obviously they stop your sales for that listing or that brand, should we say, but they don't stop your sales overall. They do hurt your account health, I think. But we fight every single one of them, and I do think you should fight them. There was a whole thing a while ago about, like, don't fight them, don't say anything. I'm like, hell no, you fight them like you never believe. That's my advice, or my thoughts on it. And then eventually in suspension, yeah, if you get too many IP complaints, you're gonna get problems. But hence why we fight them. So if I give you an idea, we've probably had like 2 IP complaints a week for the last year, and we've got 1 IP complaint on the account right now. So we're just really good at fighting them. So they're not as bad anymore. Next one, what should you understand on deal and current buy box prices, deal 90 average or buy box price leaders? It might be worth, Riza, I know you're asking about things. It might be worth just speaking to, go to fasttrackfba.com, jump down and be like, any chance I could get some support with the lead service? We might be able to, while you're with Pat, he might be able to give you a walkthrough of the service as well. So when we talk about the current buy box or 90-day average buy box on the leads, is that you know, the price today might not be representative of what it's been over the last 3 months. So we show both of those figures. So I know you're asking a lot of questions on that, and I appreciate a lot of people here might not be so interested in our leads, but obviously it might be worth, we can book you in for a call. But again, speak to Joanne, who'll be on the chat support window in Fast Track FBA. Dan, do you limit your order size to 250? You can use some, hell no, oh my God. Let me just kind of shout out. Okay, I'm just going to go into my Slack feed. I get a Slack feed come out of all my orders for the UK. Let's kind of shout them out. So today, first order, £89, 186, 186, 173, 130, 54, 328, 13. It's a bit small. 470. Oh no, sorry, I'm reading these wrong. I'm reading the profits. 470, 999, 999, 846, 809, 417, 2,520, 103, 470, and 470. They're the orders placed today so far, and the team haven't finished yet. I think they'll be finishing soon. But you can kind of see that only one of them was below 250. So no, not at all. We're just spend the money. That's it. Riza, how many units should I send to a prep center first as delivery? Up to you, Riza. It's up to you. Look, do some research on the products. We should be doing some updates in regards to the deals. My advice would be like, the way I do deal analysis, by the way, is look at a listing sales for 1 month. So say, for example, selling 30 units. And let's say, for example, there's 4 competitors on the buy box. You've got to add you in, that makes 5. So 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So I'll buy about 6 units, ship them to my prep center and go on. That's what we're looking for. It's a good kind of guide to get you going, just to kind of see how many you want to do and test. Always buy about a month's worth of stock. And then you'll get learning, you'll get to see what's selling and what's not. Bronski, to scale, what would you do first? Invest in tactical arbitrage or hire first? Okay, so I can't really comment because I've never used tactical arbitrage. I have no opinion on tactical arbitrage itself. In regards to sourcing software, I'm not the biggest fan, just because if you find a deal, it means that other people might find that same deal because of the very nature of software. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people do very successful businesses with tactical arbitrage. I think at a very fundamental level is that I'm a bit lazy. And the way I see my business is that I don't want to be doing it every single day. I want to kind of like create some nice travel videos. So what does that mean? Well, it means if I do tactical arbitrage every day, I'm going to have to do tactical arbitrage to grow my business. So I'm giving myself a job. But if I hire sourcing VAs, well, it's their job now to go find me the deals. And if they want to use tactical arbitrage, that's fine. So, hence why we've gone down the VA route. I do think, there's benefits to using software like tactical arbitrage. But I do also think there's a lot more benefits to using a VA. Why? Well, if you see there's a deal on, or you have a big reorder list, or replenishable sheet, they can just do things like that. Like they can just use their initiative and find out stuff. Whereas like tactical arbitrage, you're the one who has to use your initiative. And at the end of the day, I want an easy life. I don't want to think. What was your average ROI for 2021? I don't know. Probably like 23%. I say that because we were trying to do about 30% initially, and then we did an announcement around the restock limits and said we're going down to 20%. So I'd probably say it's closer to 20% now rather than that, but that's it. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. We're about probably 23%. That includes prep fees. So, and also you got to think the market kind of changed. We did see a decline in ROI over the course of the year. That makes sense. Riza, is it okay to check products if I'm getting after approval, but then decide to move on with other products? I did for you, but will be any problems? I'm not really too sure what you're asking. Is it okay to check products if it is ungated and ask for approval, but then decide to move on with other products? I'm not sure what you're asking. Yeah, if you let me know down below, that'd be great. Riza, how can I add a prep center cost sheet to your system? I don't know how much it will cost. If you're doing the Fast Track FBA leads, you can literally just go click on the next to the fees. It says total fees on the 90 and the current. There's a little eye icon. Click on that. Scroll down to the bottom and say add my prep fees in. Click on that. Add them in and click save, and the next time you load up, it'll recalculate with your fees in. That should help out. Okay, let's go. What would you say is the ratio between using promo coupons versus website offerings and sourcing? I have absolutely no idea. I could never tell you that. Not at all. No, I'm not even going to even try. Sorry, I just couldn't. I'd be surprised if anyone else could. I'd be surprised if you're even tracking it. Next one, when you run out of stock and not buying the product at any time soon, Do you delete your listing to improve the IPI or just keep it and wait? Yeah, so we always delete listings. If the stock sold out, we will delete it pretty much straight away. Two things, more for, yeah, IPI to improve, but also as well, if you've got an item, if you've got a listing active, even if you've never made sales, you can still get IP complaints against it, which is a nightmare. So yeah, we always just clear it down. We always clear it down, and we create new SKUs every time we ship products in. So we're not looking to replan old SKUs. So house appraisal, 20% ROI is getting harder these days. VAs average 30% ROI plus, and it only sells just on 20% ROI when the seller toolkit has more Amazon fees not included in its ROI display, which makes it worse. Okay, let me break this down into a couple of component parts. Number one, seller toolkit has more Amazon fees not included in its ROI display, which makes it worse. I think you need to go back to seller toolkit and ask, why is this fee on here but it's not on my sourcing tool, and understand what's not going on. You're missing something there. We don't get that problem. We know the fees are right. So something maybe in your interpretation, I'd challenge that. Also as well, 20% ROI is getting hard these days. Maybe. I know people doing way higher, and I see a lot of figures out there. Like I talk about me getting 20% ROI, and we're doing like over $1 million a year. I see a lot of sellers doing more than 20%, more than 30% ROI. I done an interview with Dan Gilmore, and he shared some pictures. He was doing like on £300,000 worth of revenue last year. He did 50% ROI. I think, don't quote me, I think it's around about 50% ROI. He did really, really well. Yeah, I think, yeah, if you're going to do straight vanilla arbitrage like what we do, yeah, it's going to get more challenging because it's the easy stuff, and we do the easy stuff at volume, which means we can get 20% ROI. And when you're doing like 100,000 spend a week, 20% ROI is not bad. I'll take that. That's £20,000 net profit per month, or per week. We don't make that, by the way. But the idea is to say that it is getting harder, but also as well, there's more and more sellers coming into Amazon. There's like even new sellers now are getting 0% VAT on fees because there's some certain things that go on. The very nature of everything just gets harder, so we just got to adapt. And obviously, if you can't make it work, then it's probably not the business for you. So I really understand. And you talk about like VAs getting 30% ROI in sales just under 20. Agreed. And maybe it might be the case that you look at your VAs and say, hey guys, actually we're now doing the sales. When you're estimating the sale price, you're going too high. You need to make a line. Again, the USS does this for you. Every time we list an item, we know what we estimate to sell it for, and what we sell it for, we can see. And it goes a nice little red and green. So if you see lots of red, it means they're overestimating, hence what you're saying. Green, you're like, okay, cool, maybe you're underestimating, seeing a balance. Perfect. So good question. I do understand what you're saying, but I do think at a very fundamental level, business is always changing. More and more people are selling on Amazon now than have ever sold. The marketplace is bigger than it's ever been, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the margins are always going to be there. 10 years ago, 50% ROI was probably a bad day. Now, you're saying 20% ROI is like standard. So it's just going to change. It does happen. Shaq, at what point should I start outsourcing? You should only start outsourcing when, number one, you understand the business, because if you outsource a problem you don't understand, then you're scaling a problem. And then number two is you've got money. Money is generally the big one. And also as well, you've got spare time. Because if you're super busy and you don't have any time left, then your problem comes is that you're outsourcing to someone and you don't have time to check to them and train them and get them right. It takes time to outsource correctly. That's one thing. So like I always do it whereby when I reach about 80% capacity, we start now trying to hire someone else to get my workload off. I'll never get to 100 because I just don't have time. That's the big one. So I hope that makes sense. Amit, whilst taking brand approval, is it okay to get an invoice from a random website for really good brands like Puma and Nike? If not, is it okay to buy direct from their own website and prove to Amazon? I don't really know. You're trying to get ungated. Well, you're just trying to get the ungated process. So yeah, I don't like, as long as you get a legit invoice, that's fine. I don't see really a big problem with that. Yeah, as long as you're getting an invoice which allows you to get ungated, obviously from a wholesale distributor manufacturer. And if the manufacturer's their own website, like Lego, for example, then I don't see you have a problem. I think that should be fine. I'm not saying Lego website will get you ungated or not. I don't know. I heard it might do, but I don't know for a fact. So yeah, I don't see a problem. Yeah. Anthony, Amazon requires that the ship to address must match your account address when it is not the same as your prep center. What is the work on to? They don't. They might state it, but you can just submit the invoice to your prep center address. That's fine. No, it's fine. You're interesting enough. When you get the invoice will have billing address and ship to address, and the billing address will be your address, not the prep center address. Or you can ask for a change of it. But like, I'm sure we've probably got like 90% of our invoices don't have a separate billing and shipping address. They're both the same, i.e. the warehouse. And I don't think it's been a problem with Amazon. It really don't. So yeah, I don't think that's a problem. I understand what you're saying. What's your minimum profit margin per unit when deciding? We don't really do that. We kind of do 20% ROI. That's what we're aiming for. It's about, yeah, being quite honest about that. When hiring VAs, I look from Fast Track FBA, would you have to provide them the VPN keeper and any other software, or do they come equipped to invest in all necessary tools? You need to provide them with the tools. You're hiring a person. If you go and work for, let's say, for example, you go work for Microsoft, they're not going to say, well, you need to buy your own copy of Microsoft Office and Excel and all that. No, you provide it all for them. You're hiring them, giving them a job. You need to provide it. Ironically, they come prepared with their own computer, so I think that's actually quite a good deal. You don't have to buy them a computer, which you would have to if they worked in your office. So, yeah, but yes, you got to provide them all the tools like VPN, Keeper, sass, Bybot Pro, etc. Dan, do you plan to build your business to sell at some point or keep them as cash flow generating machines? I don't know. It's a really great question, Dan. I was really looking at like how could we structure the business to sell, and I've got some ideas, and I kind of know what I would do if I was going to do that. No one's really sold OA businesses before, but I don't think they've really maybe outsourced it. I'm sure people have outsourced it at the same level as I have, and often not better. But most people are still owner operators as opposed to can step away. But my God, right now, it's an amazing business to have. It does really well. And on the other side, the other one, which I'm about to go find out, is the amount of points we get. Wow, I get I think I get 300,000 Amex points a month from this business. And when Amazon USA scales up, we'll probably do the same again. I don't know what you can do with 600,000 Amex points a month. I'd have to go live in a 5-star Ritz-Carlton hotel for the entire month, and then I might be able to spend them, which I'm not complaining about. I'd be very happy about, and it creates really unique, interesting things. But I think also at a very fundamental level, if you're a service provider, you should also be a seller. I do believe that, because then you're in the game with everyone else. You understand it, so you understand the problem. So that's my thoughts. Right, guys, we've got 8 minutes. I'm going to kind of churn through these. Let's go through. Hi, Tom. Do you include cashback in your ROI calculations? No, not at all. Cashback is a Brucey bonus and adding extra, definitely not guaranteed, and a lot of it does get cancelled. About a quarter of it at least gets cancelled. I know that for a fact. So no, we don't. Next one, Orsh Limited. Hello, Tom. I did private label and lost 7,000 US. Sorry to hear that, man. Now I started retail on average because of your free advice. Oh, cool, fantastic. I drive 10 hours a day delivering food. What advice can you give me? When you're on your delivery rounds, look for shops. Go scan. Do RA. Get scanning. Beep. Sass, get Sass, really good mobile phone app, very, very good. I reckon that it's about $15 a month. You can pretty much do everything you want off that. And don't go spend 7,000. Just go spend a couple of hundred US, buy some products, call it 500 US, test it. You just spent 7,000 and you lost money. Go spend 500 US and prove that this model works. Prove that it works. Then once you know it works, you understand it, then go and put in another 2, 3, 4,000, not a problem. But you're only putting good money in after you've figured out how it works and what's the thing. You're not throwing good money after bad. And and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people, and I will say this, who lose money on Amazon. And they start and they quit, and it doesn't work. It's at the end of the day, this isn't like a lifestyle business. This is a business. It's hard, really, really hard. You got to work, super hard. But if you're willing to work, and it sounds like you are, and then understand it, and you'll do fine. But it is hard work. It's hard. Do you think the OA model will one day cease to exist and more brands start selling Amazon higher entities? Retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale. What are they? They are quite simply trade. You are buying something, Lego, cheap, and reselling somewhere else for a profit. I remember when you used to be able to buy, I don't remember, I read a story of when you used to be able to buy sheep and they exchanged it for gold and then they sold it somewhere else, or spices somewhere else. It's the oldest game in the book. If anything, I understand what you're saying. My God, go back. 10 years ago, it was eBay. You could buy stuff cheap and resell on eBay. Fantastic. Amazon came along. Why did we like Amazon? Because Amazon did FBA. FBA made it so much more accessible. So many people are going to look at Amazon and be like, we need to copy this model. More than, I think it's 60% of all Amazon sales now are from third-party sellers. If you want to compete versus Amazon, you have to include third-party sellers. I think the OA model, I think what we're doing, buying low, selling high, is only going to increase. If it didn't, I would not be running a company whereby we help other people do it and we're building for the long term. I generally believe this. There's so much software out there helping you now. Yes, it's going to change. Yes, it's going to get harder, more competitive. But my God, there is like OA, arbitrage, wholesale, the same model. It's just different ways of sourcing. That's it. Literally the same model. I think it will be fine. No problems. Any tips on how to be a VA of Amazon? Really interested. Learn as much as you can about Amazon. Don't resell your deals, and good communication skills. Work super hard. Prove yourself, and that's about it. I'd really say. And obviously, be genuine. Be yourself. If you don't like it, don't do it. Honestly, I've met too many VAs who don't like it, don't do it. It's going to go through. Anti-Wolf, should I use a 90-day average Amazon selling price rather than today's average when evaluating deal? Great question. When you're looking at the Keeper chart, the whole point behind Keeper is it tells you what's gone on in the past, 90-day, 180-day, the price today, sales ranking, etc., etc. But why? Why are you doing this? You're looking at all this data in the past. Why? To predict what the price will be in the future. So you buy it, you say, if I buy this product today, in 2 weeks' time, what do I think the price is going to be? There is no one answer to what you're saying. What you need to do is look at all the data together and to say, what price do I think it's going to be in 2 weeks' time when my product will land in Amazon? So whether that's 90 days, that's the current price, etc., that's the question you should be asking. What will the price be in 2 weeks' time? Because that is the price I think I'm going to be wanting to sell it at. What is the market likely to be? Past performance is a good indicator of future potential, but not guaranteed. And Keeper is amazing at that. I hope that answers your question, Anthony. I meant to ask, they give an invoice from manufacturer or distributor, so it's okay to buy from Argos, for example, for first-time brand approval. No. Argos is not a manufacturer or distributor. Argos is a retailer. If you are wanted brand approval to sell, you need to use a manufacturer or distributor if it's for ungating purposes. I hope that makes sense. Kind of going through Shaq, what services do you use for cashback? US only Top Cashback, UK Top Cashback and Quidco. In the UK, if you are small, also look at complete savings. Don't go above £200 per month. Be very careful about doing large orders through it as well. They will shut you down. Expect to lose some of that money, but it's 10% rather than like 2% on Top Cashback. But we do really well on Top Cashback. I'm really happy with it. So I hope that answers your question. Anthony, how do you manage to keep your complete savings open and not get banned? Okay, so quick thing is, like I just said, don't put super high volume orders through. You're going to get flagged straight away. Number two, we never went over £200 per item. Number three, if you really want to learn, I'll just share it with you because we don't use them anymore. We had multiple accounts. Long story short is find a bank account where you can create virtual cards. So you can create lots of virtual cards. So number one, you've got a different card number for each account you're paying subscription fee on. Number two, you can create lots of different email addresses like Tom +1 at Gmail, Tom +2, Tom +3, Tom +4. They all go to the same inbox. Then number three is the fact that because they never send you anything, it doesn't matter about the actual address, kind of. So when they're doing the card payment, how do card payment authentications go through? They do it on the postcode. So what you're doing is you're basically just saying, I live at number one, Tom, number one, Pullman Lane, number two, Pullman Lane, number three, Pullman Lane, number four, Pullman Lane. So when they do the card transaction processing, the card processor is taking the card details plus the postcode to do authentication. It goes through. But also, according to Complete Savings, I'm a completely different account. So I have like 20 accounts. I live at 20 different addresses. I'm 20 different people, same different name, different bank account could be the same. It's fine. Different email addresses, different card numbers, different physical addresses. Hence why we had multiple accounts. And if one got shut down, it wasn't really a problem. Hope that makes sense, Anthony, and that's quite an insider tip. But yeah, just got to manage them. Also, as well, always when you log in, what do we try and do? We try and use like incognito mode browsers and try and use VPNs and try and move around because we really don't, like, they might be tracking IP addresses as well. At the end of the day, what we just realized after having 4 accounts is like, it's just not worth it. The hassle factor alone wasn't worth it. And we make more money now just buying and selling normal goods. So it works for small sellers. For big sellers, it's not worth the hassle. Thank you, Thomas. These Q&As are really valuable. Thanks. You do every Monday. Yeah, we do these Q&As. So come join every Monday. And last question for today, VA, thank you by the way, Riza. VA from Fast Track FBA, is there a standard monthly fee for their wage? No, oh there is. When you sign up, you pay us, we're a one-time fee. You then get the question to ask how much do you want to pay, and we give you some options and a recommended one. If you like, recommend going for the recommended one just because it works. It really works. We know what we're doing. We've done nearly 400 VAs, or I think 400 VAs. Makes a really big difference. So yeah, when you sign up, you'll get that, and we do that for you. Thanks a lot, Thomas. Really appreciate your time and all the answers and loving the content. Thank you so much. Right, that is it, guys and girls. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure, and I will just jump on. Oh my God, you're going really fast. We do live every Monday, by the way. Yes, Amazon does ask for invoices. Join the Fast Track VA Academy, and I'll tell you the answer. That's it. Because that's something we do in the VA Academy, have a very good solution for it. So I do these every Monday. Do come join. And obviously, thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for what you're doing. Keep smashing your business. And obviously, I will catch up with you same time next week, hopefully in another part of the world. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.